This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages, right here on hashtag WeAreMovieClub. Salutations, I am Cameron, I am conversation ready. This week we're here to talk about Accepted, one of my highly recommended college comedy movies. Not only, you can see her right here, Maria Thayer, I totally recommend her. I want to see more. Gotta go see like Eagle Heart to really see something. She always ends up playing like a bit part. Usually she's the hot girl, and she plays up dumb and slutty really well, even though she is quite intelligent. Can I put my mouse? I can't put my mouse there. Right next to her is Blake Lively, Justin Long. I recognize him from something else. Black guy. I hate that. That's his defining feature, but that's kind of what it is. I know him from something else. Lewis Black, Jonah Hill, back when he was... And then that special guy, which I also feel bad about because I've seen him in other things, but he plays basically retarded better than almost anyone I've ever seen. He's fantastic. The whole movie's just great, and there's my bias right off the bat. We're gonna go jump right into this because again, this is a movie I can literally watch on repeat. We were talking about this over on Rabbit/Camera, and so I decided to slot it in. So we open on Justin Long making fake IDs because Justin Long's a figure of morality. Jonah Hill runs in to warn him that the principal's about to come in and whack off. So Justin Long has this like T to T with him, which is ridiculous and funny. And it just kind of ends with like him being the Bueller. The principal's just happy he's going to be gone after that semester. So outside it becomes very clear. We have an establishing scene of Blake Lively being the hot girl that Justin ends up having to mow her lawn for her party. So that's where we're at with that relationship. Lots and lots of college talk because, let's face it, that's kind of a theme of the movie. And it all turns out that Bartleby, Justin Long's character, didn't get into college because he messed around with all of his little schemes and scams and blah 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 blah. Parents are angry. By the way, I get that the whole idea is that like Justin Long's the protagonist and that we're taking this from the perspective of a potential college student, especially with the idea that parents are dumb from a high schooler's perspective. So they're super one-dimensional characters. They kind of have single focuses. They're very strict and unyielding in conversation. So there's a couple points where Bartleby's kind of like surprised that they aren't just blatantly resistant to what he's talking about. So yay for good parenting skills and whatnot. So and eventually he's got to tell him that he didn't get into college. There's a barbecue where everyone in the neighborhood's celebrating like their kids going off to college and whatnot, and Bartleby's not going there, and Rory didn't get into Yale, and what was it like? I think from her description, it's so funny. Like she really nailed it. Rory didn't get into Yale. Rory, who's been preparing her whole life to go to Yale, didn't go. Not going. She's just losing her mind. Like they even punched it up a little bit as she's walking away. It's like I think it was a nice colleges for pussies or something like that, and it's just wow. His best friend, the aforementioned black guy. I don't even know his character's name. I feel bad, but he's just not important to the story. Like. He's a main character. He's not ADD, but like we'll get to him later. But I don't know. I'll just feel bad about it. Fuck it. That's how the show goes. But Bartleby gets embarrassed by his dad because he's not going to college. But the point is that there's like a small group of them with Fat Jonah Hill being the only one who like apparently is going to college. And he's a legacy, so he's going into pledge a fraternity from the start, so yay. But up his room, Bartleby uses his fantastic little brain to fake a college acceptance letter, and has Jonah make the website, which South Harmon Institute of Technology. Shit is the acronym, so it's just fucking funny. Like, it's every little detail of this, like, they really got the jokes right. It's fantastic. So they're at some gas station for whatever reason. Like, there's very little reason for the transition changes, but they're all beautiful, and they're all the scenes are worth it. So your brain doesn't question as you're watching, but literally I have no idea why they're at the gas station for this conversation. So Schroeder is Jonah Hill's character. So Justin's talking to his friend, the jock. Let's call him the jock, the black guy. Is it Dean? No, he's the dean. No, Dean. What's his name? I will go out to IMDb. See, it would be a lot easier to remember if, honestly, if I had watched it recently. Like, I've watched this movie a lot, which is the thing that pisses me off. But I'm going to do it because, quite frankly, Justin Long and Jonah Hill get the top billing. Blake Lively, I think, used to have it, if I'm being honest. Sherman Schrader's is Jonah Hill's name. Adam Hirschman, which is Glenn, who's the kind of the retarded guy. And then Daryl Hands Holloway. Columbus Short is his real name. And I do like that Maria Thayer and has the same last name as her character, Roy Thayer. So Daryl, we can call him Daryl. Finally, fuck. So awkward. So he ends up showing the acceptance letter to Daryl, and so he does one for him too because his leg's broken. So like he needed a backup plan at the last minute. So together they're gonna skate through because that's what best friends do. And Jonah, of course, doesn't need one, but he makes the website anyways, so it looks legitimate. The acceptance fakes out the dad. I can't wait to drop Bartleby off at college. That's where like we end up at the gas station. They're talking about it, and they managed to pick up Schroeder and Rory into the plan. Because Rory has a lead on a location, which happens to be an abandoned mental hospital. What? Occasionally I picture myself as a Muppet, which is what this was all about. Yay! So at the mental hospital, they decide to rent it over and make over the building. Because granted, they've got like $10,000 of tuition per person. So they have a little bit of money to make this work. Plus, bonus surprise later. But it's so bad in there, like literally, you have skeletons falling out of the ceiling, which is my favorite part of the entire movie. Because Jonah Hill lets out this scream that's just amazing. And it's just kind of like followed by, please don't tell anyone that I scream like that. It'd be really great. So over at Harmon, we're shown that the dean's a dick. The next day, Rory ends up adding Glenn to the party. Because he got fired for making a shrimp slushy. Why'd you do that, buddy? Because I was hungry and thirsty. There's this whole great cleanup montage. They're playing with the electrotherapy machine. God. Over at Shit, they're pulling off this display. It actually looks really good, what they have there. But Dad wants a meeting with the dean, so they have to get a dean. So they go to Schrader's uncle and hire him to pretend to be the dean. I'm going to skip over all the nuts and bolts there. But they end up doing like a tour of like, hey, we're dropping you off for college. Rory hires all these foreign exchange students, or English as a second language students, ESL students, to pretend to be college students. And Hannah Marks, the tiny little sister thing, she's fucking beautiful in this. She keeps throwing him curveballs like, why are there bars in the window? What are these straps on the bed? Like, just picking out all the little details that he missed, which is fantastic. On top of that, she has grown into quite the adult actress in the days. She's also in Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Check her out in that. She does a real good job. Along with Frodo. What the fuck is his name? No, not Jonah Hill. I really blocked it out. He just creeped me out so much in Sin City. I've had problems with him as an actor since then. But he, the guy who played Frodo, and now I gotta look up Lord of the Rings because I feel I have a lot of guilt apparently. Because who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Frodo. You know what? You would think Elijah Wood. I think Frodo would bring it up, but it doesn't. Okay, so where did I go? I went to Dirk Gently, and my brain just washed. So let's see. I apparently scrolled down on my notes. So the Dean barely pulls off, the fake Dean, Lewis Black, mind you, barely pulls off the interview with the parents. And then all of a sudden, the big curveball of the movie, real people show up. It's fantastic. Just like the swarm of people that they don't know what to do with no official faculty there to be in place. And there's a lot of communication that happens before you go to like a dorm. It's not just like, oh, you'll have a dorm, room assignments and all that. So they're literally like pulling off this fake ID as a student and like student body coordinators or whatever you want to call it. It's hilarious, just the idea of them doing that. And so they hold a rally or conference, orientation day, whatever you want to call it, and he officially starts a fake college because they have a moment where they're going to back out of it, and so it kind of follows the hero's journey, if you will. It's like this is his call to action, and then he refuses, but then he accepts. Things are out of fucking control though because kids are assholes. People are assholes, and college students really aren't kids, if you will. But Justin Long's character, Bartleby, decides to go explore Harmon just to see kind of what is going on with real college, if you will. Yeah, don't have any notifications. Shut up. And he's interviewing student body members. All people who have no idea about what to do with their life or anything like that. And quite frankly, that was kind of my experience. Like, people didn't know what they were doing. They were just there because that's what they were told they were supposed to do next. So they weren't there to learn. They weren't there to better themselves. They were there because that's what they were told to do by their parents who were paying for everything. And so they were just looking for the next opportunity where someone wasn't telling them what to do so that they could play or drink or do drugs or whatever the fuck they were doing. So there's college for you, parents. Okay, so how do I say this? They start trying to create a class schedule from what the students want. So they just giant dry erase board. By the way, which I want. That thing was like 20 feet long. Is literally giant sized. It would have been at least 2, so maybe 10 feet. It would have been at least 2 Justin Long arm widths wide from the courtroom scene. And they order supplies to match those, which include skate ramps, extra amenities, kitchen equipment, which is basic amenities. Honestly, the culinary program that they start there is a fantastic idea. Maybe not with Glenn in charge, but he seems to do okay with it. It just makes me nervous to have that man responsible for anything. So Bartleby ends up going over to shit, and this is kind of where the rivalry builds a little bit. How do I say it? My note here is that he defends against Holt Ambrose, but he goes to the frat house and ends up... Oh, no, that was earlier, sorry. I don't know what this fucking note is. I guess, because it's Hoyt investigating shit on behalf of the dean of Harmon. He gets caught cheating on Monica. Hannah Marks officially makes her brother, Bartleby, And she ends up blackmailing him. I thought it was a nice touch for the movie. Blackmailing him for a fake ID so that she can vote. Not so she can drink, but so she can vote. I thought it was a nice touch. Because it really doesn't lend anything to the movie other than just, like, oh, here's another situation. Deal with it. Punchline. The Dean reinforces his orders of Hoyt after shit. I'm just going to say that because it's easier to say in South Harmon Institute of Technology. Monica visits. Bartleby gives her a camera because he knows that she wants to be a photographer. Schroeder ends up railing Bartleby for not shutting the whole thing down and not being serious about it. They make a mascot, the shit sandwich. I thought it was great. I thought it was a nice touch. This whole thing is like written by a 12-year-old, but it's fucking beautiful. And they end up competing with Harmon's big frat party. Whatever. Monica makes it to the concert, which is really what it is. I mean, it's a party, but like they have a gymnasium, which I don't know where they got. Because I'm not sure, maybe it would make sense. The mental hospital would have a gymnasium. It would have somewhere it would have some kind of multi-purpose room for activities, but I don't know if it would have a stage. No, yeah, because, acting and creativity and helps, is supposedly therapeutic, so they would have that. That makes sense, okay. I was gonna really argue myself into a corner about this movie, but I'm just happy about everything that happens in this movie, except for the dean, who's the bad guy, who's supposed to make me feel unhappy. It's just what it is. But Hoyt comes over in his roaring 20s get up and is a dick, and then he pussies out when he realizes that the entire crowd is against him, because he's used to being the guy with the upper hand who's gonna get high-fived after he punches somebody and is an asshole. Real life, most people want to stay out of it because they're like, I just don't want anything to do with that. Why would I get involved? That's America anyways. And then, so, on his way out, he does a dick move and pulls the fire alarm, which honestly should have ruined a lot of the equipment that was being used. But a wet t-shirt party is declared, and the fun goes on. Over the frat house, Schrader gets bullied into outing shit. Which results in an impromptu Parents' Day, where Dean Harmon shows up and outs shit as a sham. And it seems like a major overreaction to board up the building. Now, actually, I can argue against this, or I can argue for it being boarded up. If he never went through the paperwork and wasn't serious about anything, then it's still listed as condemned. If it's listed as condemned, it's supposed to be inaccessible and therefore is required to be barred. Which involves boarding it up, locking the doors with a chain and padlock, etc. So, if he never did that, obviously it's been addressed, but they still are the leaseholders. They're not in violation of their lease. They rented the building. Maybe they were approved or just not approved of changing it. What the problem is that they are taking money because they're not accredited. Now, they never claimed to be accredited. Oh my god, there's this whole back and forth here of what did they do and what didn't do. Okay, but I don't know, I'm still of the opinion it's no, it's their building, it's just they're not allowed to have people there that or take money from people for visiting their building, because it is technically a private building at that point. But there's a lot of landlordness of it, even if they are the leaseholders. So maybe the landlord was like, just shut it down. So back at the gas station, maybe that's just where they hang out. They bitch. Schrader shows up, and apparently he appealed for accreditation. So that gets them the courtroom scene at the end of the movie. And they have this really interesting courtroom session with the board on stage and all the school in the audience, which who knows how they found out about it. Bartleby, and the dean ends up, the fake dean, Lewis Black dean, ends up making Bartleby take charge of the situation without any preparation. They present the board, the dry erase board as the curriculum. They have no real faculty of traditional sense. So it's just going horribly. And it all comes down to like one really cool board member who prompts the vote and swings it. Because Bartleby makes enough of a suggestion to be an alternative education system. And so it makes sense that like something like that could happen. But the accreditation process, in which would make the credits transferable to other schools, a problem. Now, if people were to attend and graduate from that school and have a degree from South Harmon Institute of Technology, there's nothing to stop anyone from doing that. However, it doesn't mean that any of those credits or that degree is going to be recognized by any other system. So it just comes down to like a job holder's preference. And so when they look up shit as a college... Oh man! Oh yeah, that's the other thing. They had school colors of shit brown. It's just like just knocking that joke into the ground. It's fantastic. I love all the main actors in this. There's ADD, who's like this Duncan Dudley Durlap or Arthur Dunkley, blah, 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 whatever. But he's just mile-a-minute talker. They managed to put him in a straitjacket and have him meditate with Rory. And calm him down, which was actually like a cool thing to add in the movie, completely unnecessary, along with the guy who wants to learn how to blow things up with his mind. Now, granted, the dean's a dick, so someone probably like put a bomb in his car, but like he thinks he blows up the dean's car, the dean of Harmon, dean's car at the end of the movie, which again, completely unnecessary, but a nice touch. That's how you write jokes for a movie. You do it to accent the story. You don't divert from the story and go over here and then, jokes. And then when you come back to the story, you look at the story and go, the story's not funny. You tell the story, and then as you're telling the story, you can sprinkles jokes on it as you go. So the story itself is funny. Now, granted, you can pick all the sprinkles off. You still have a legitimate story that's interesting. Oh man, it's just good. It's good. Again, good watch on repeat, highly recommended. And that movie came out in what, 2001, 2002? 2006, sorry, not quite so long ago. Again, Fat Jonah Hill's always good. Good for him that he slimmed himself down for his health, etc. But it makes me want to Take Him to the Greek for some reason. Of all the Jonah Hill movies, that's the one I want to watch. And of course, Justin Long, literally, I can watch him in anything. I kind of want to see this. Ever since Kevin Smith said that like Ben Affleck could play the shark from Jaws, I've been thinking of actors that could play the shark from Jaws. And I kind of want to see, after seeing Justin Long play a walrus, or a guy in a walrus suit, a guy who became a walrus even, I want to see him as the shark from Jaws. I want that. Maria Thayer's lovely. Blake Lively's a treat and great actress. Watch her in The Shallows. Fantastic, and she did such a good job with that. I bet a lot of people would have turned down that opportunity based on the idea that it's like really dealing with the ocean. It's probably not a real shark, but just there's so many things that could happen and go wrong with everything that they're doing. It's a tough role to play, and she did an excellent job with it. Lewis Black, I hope he's still alive and he hasn't had a freaking heart attack yet. But we're gonna watch Superbad eventually. I don't have the schedule in front of me. But stick around. We're gonna be watching stuff over on Rabbit/Camera every Sunday. Double feature: Bad Movie Club, then We Are Movie Club, and Friday's Scary Movie Club. We'll keep this going a little bit longer. So thank you, and have a nice day from us here at #WeAreMovieClub. You want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.